was just our first 20 duos, man. We still have 30 more to go. Let's take a moment here. Zeke, breathe. Okay. I wanted to highlight a duo here for you. Chap and Teeny. Little fun fact here. This is Chap's first time on LAN. And to go like, first time LAN. Oh, Global Championship. The biggest stage possible in Fortnite. Yeah, let's go.
A lot of people are excited to watch this duo play. I mean, even just disregarding how they have performed over the last 2 chapters, having that Teeny strat in his back pocket, especially with what we've been seeing going down over the west side of Underworld, where they're kind of contested, getting dropped on. I think a Teeny strat might be coming out over the next 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, Zeke. Chap's first Global Championships. It was also his first Grand Finals only in Major 2 of this year. That Major, they placed second. Major number 3 also qualified. They also placed second. So it seems like Chap is just immune to any pressure. And here today, I'm interested to see what are they going to do. You know, is Chap able to handle the pressure? He's done very well at that so far. And as you mentioned, Kelly, the big question mark, where are these guys going to land?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. They could land a different spot every single game. We haven't, we have seen that before. It's not something we're strangers to, but I think for Teeny and Chap, they're going to be looking at maybe what they know best, maybe drop spots they've landed at before. That's why I think Cooper might be a little bit concerned that they might be landing over towards that Nitro ground.
Terrifying stuff. And as we go from one Booga, we must talk about the other, Batman Booga specifically, and Rapid. I mean, they just had an unbelievable performance in Major 3.
I mean, going all the way back to Global Championships last year, where they have only played together for 1 major, and then going into their Globals for the first time on LAN and getting 14th place really put a lot of eyes on them. Now, the start of this year, not the best, but the evolution that we have seen, Minnie, is just incredible. These are 2 of my favorite players competing here today.
Yeah, I mean, when they came 14th in the Globals, they were even triple contested as well. So it just adds to the skill and the ability of these guys. I mean, they're absolutely incredible. They actually moved from sort of high ping at the beginning of the year to low ping to 0 ping, and it's worked wonders for them. They've been able to get unleashed all of their talent. That is just going crazy right now. I'm interested to see what they're going to do off spawn. They're, of course, landing at Grimgate. They have all of those dashes there as well. Interested to see if they can use those in the end game, maybe save them a little bit. Are they contested? Are they not? We're not too sure. It says uncontested right now, but of course things can change.
Yeah, I was chatting with them just a little bit, and they think that there might be an OCE team potentially landing on them. But again, that drop map can only tell us so much. It's really the first game where we'll find out.
And what do they have to do, right? If that does happen, you know, they're going in with a strategy where we're uncontested. Suddenly, there's another duo here. What do we do?
I mean, it's Batman Booga and Rapid. They're going to be able to handle it so well. They already did really well being contested at the Globals last year. They are incredible duos. And honestly, regardless of what situation they're in, they always come out on top. At watching them on the end game where they typically stick to the low and middle ground, but they're so observant. They're able to tell when the high ground is theirs to take. They are so strong. It almost looked like they could potentially win in Major 3, getting 2nd place. But of course, when Peter Von Pollo is there, it's hard to really break through those guys.
Yeah, really hard. I mean, even in that Major number 3, they placed second. They only played 11 games in that Major, which just makes it even more impressive. These guys are so good.
That's right. Fortnite fam, I think you guys want to meet some more players, right? So make some noise for the next 10 duos.
Let's hear it for Swizzy and Yapko. Coming together for this event, this duo is on a mission to impress the world. They've got the skill, but can they make it happen?
Here comes the pride of Middle East, Adapter and FKS, some of the most dominant ME duos of all time. And it's actually not their first LAN, but it might just be their first trophy.
It's True Legs and Chicho making their return to the global stage, only this time they are in it to win it. Last year they placed 3rd, and now it's time for 1st.
Let's give it up for K Shoro and Keiki. The Brazilian stars are coming onto the global stage for their first time in their careers, and it's time to lock in for real now.
Big welcome to Chiefs and Chris coming together for this event, but these guys mean business. Both have proven themselves worthy, but now it counts for real.
Put your hands together for Huddy and Kovacs. Everyone loves a good underdog story, and these guys have shown up on the last EU major. The real question is, can they find that momentum?
Coming in hot, it's going to be Dukes and Spinks. Championship material right here. But this weekend is not going to be easy for anybody.
have pulled together so many top placements, and now they are here to lock it in for the region.
Aspect and Kazi, ladies and gentlemen, because FNC as champions is a title that's already been secured. So next in line, gotta be for Global.
It's your boys, Acorn and Cold! Some of the absolute best to ever do it from the NA region, and now they are looking to get a trophy of their own.
You guys feel that? You feel that cold front in the arena suddenly? I mean, come on, man. That's the first 30. If we just started, right? We just said like, hey, launch that battle bus, let's get in the game. I'd be like, yeah, no, this is a Global Championship lobby. There's still 20 duos to discuss. Really quick though, Acorn and Cold, I mean, these guys are just so crazy consistent.
I mean, it hasn't just been a good year for them. It's been a good 2 years for them. They have not placed below 6 over the last 6 majors. In the Global Championships last year, they claimed 7th place.
Yeah, and that was even while splitting a drop spot in the middle of the map there as well. So that just makes things even more impressive. That's actually quite reflective of what their off-spawn situation is today. Landing down there at Brutal Beachhead with Andalex and Sato. It's going to be interesting how the off-spawn battle goes. I feel like Andalex and Sato might dip out in some of the games. They might try and split the drop. I don't think Acorn and Cold want that. They want to try and claim as much of that loot as possible.
Right.
And I think because Cold is just so good, even if they don't get that much loot in mid-game, Acorn will just go like, oh, Cold, just go over there, eliminate those guys, get me that loot, and we can act like the off-spawn didn't even happen. So I think that's going to be a key element to their success.
Yeah, there's a reason that people say that Cold is one of the best players in the world, and by winning the Global Championship today, he would solidify that spot, joined by Acorn, who is one of the best IGLs in the world. This duo is here. They want to do better than last year. They don't want that 7th place. They want that trophy.
That's right. Now on the topic of consistency, let's bounce back on over to OCE, Aspect and Kazi as well. Representation, these guys are looking to kick off the competition with a bang.
2nd, 3rd, and 1st over the last 3 majors, respectively. One of the most consistent duos that we have seen all year. And of course, their drop spot is a bit of a question mark.
Yeah, but what's really impressive about those 3 majors is they landed at a different drop spot in every single one of them. So you mentioned 2nd, 3rd, 1st. They did that from a different drop spot every single time. Now this weekend, they've marked the raft, right? I don't know if they're going to be landing there. So many people have asked questions. Are they really going to be landing there? Nobody really knows where exactly they're going to be landing. It's a bit of an enigma at the moment. We don't know. But I think this is a team that can cope under the pressure of a new drop spot. We've seen it throughout this whole year, and they've been by far the dominant team on OCE. So let's see if they can bring this here.
If you had to pick a spot, where do you think they might go? Are we just saying like if it was Raft's like pretty safe, or you're like you might have somewhere else in mind?
I think, due to some rumors, that they might be landing over in Grim Gate, a very powerful POI that is currently uncontested by Batman Booga and Rapid. But the raft is huge. It has a lot of loot. There is a possibility of splitting it, maybe, maybe not.
I mean, we'll see. I think if I was them, it would be looking at teams that maybe haven't performed that well off spawn this year, trying to land on them, taking advantage of that. One of those teams, Cammy and Seti, haven't had the best year off spawn at that Cammy split area. Currently, they are uncontested as well, so maybe that could be an avenue that they could discuss or explore. So I'm interested to see what happens there. Maybe they could do a whole teeny thing as well and just land all over the map in different games. Who knows?
Oh, you guys got me hyped right now. I'm also hyped, though, to bring in our next 10 duos. Bring him out.
Everybody watch out because it's Queasy and Thomas HD. Some of the best to ever touch the game, but they lack a trophy in the collection, so now's their chance to change that.
Put your hands together for Kyoto and Xme Poli. They have been one of the most consistent duos coming out of the Asian region this year, and now they're looking to bring that energy to this stage.
Big welcome to Shadow and Virgo, ready to put their abilities to the test this weekend because these guys are not here to go home empty-handed.
It's Gears and Shari, everyone, just making it across the line in Major 3. Now they're here to lock it in and make up for that because they will be hungry for the victory and the trophy.
Visual and Parades in the house. Last minute magic, and that's what I'm talking about. Short time under pressure.
And here's Agers and Rise. Experience is often the key at these types of events, and these guys do not lack it at all. They have to put in work this weekend to see how far it can take them.
Give it up for Janice and Pixie. This is what you get from mixing experience and talent. Coming together for Major 3 paid off big time, and now they're prepared to take it all the way.
Coming in hot is Ed and Persa. Always on top of the leaderboards in Brazil, and now they even took that championship at Major 2. Can they get another?
Coming out of OCE, it's Damo and Resigns. Top of OC is 1 feat of strength, but now it's time to take it to the next level. Globals is a different beast.
It's Peter Bond, it's Moyo. Make some noise for Word. Chapter 5 has been theirs with back-to-back championships. Now they're looking to keep that streak continuing.
If Peter Pot winner, then I'm done.
Man, I don't know how much more my heart can take. We've got another 10 duos here, but let's take a moment to talk about these 10 that came out. We wanted to highlight Asia here, specifically Kyoto and Mapoli. These guys are widely regarded as the best team in Asia, and now everyone else is looking to have to deal with them. How are we doing that?
I mean, we were looking at Aspect and Cassie just a few minutes ago, and literally the same placements over the 3 majors, second in Major 1, third in Major 2, and first place champion title in Major 3. And honestly, I am so excited to watch this duo. They have been competing in Fortnite for a very long time, Mapoli since 2019 Winter Royale.
Yeah, these guys have been by far the best Asia team this year. They've been so consistent. I'm interested to see what they're going to do today. They're landing at the north side of the map by that sort of island area. I think what we've been seeing from some of the Asia scrims as well is what we think is going to happen. They're going to land on that mainland area, try and third-party that Rebels Roost fight, get some early Storm Surge damage, and then play the game out as they like to. And the way that they like to is very low ground heavy, very consistent, not crazy amount of eliminations in mid-game, but in end-game, that's where they thrive. So I'm expecting lots of consistency from these guys. I'm expecting lots of end games.
Okay. What's this? I got in my notes here. It just says Queasy Thomas HD. They're pretty good. They're pretty all right.
Yeah, a lot of people would say really good. I mean, Queasy getting second place in the Invitational with Venno way back when. And then, of course, Thomas HD, the best to never win a title, literally missing out on first place by 1 point.
I mean, and that was 2 years in a row as well. Major 1 this year, missed out by 1 point. Major 1 last year, another point. So it was so unfortunate for him. This could be a really good opportunity for them. They're finally uncontested. I feel like Thomas is always contested when it comes to lands, and it's really troublesome for him. But I'm interested to see what they can do. They're landing at the north, the south side of the map, the sort of southeast area, that small building just to the east of the map. I'm interested to see what they can do because Thomas HD is just so good with that pistol. I was speaking to him, he was saying, yeah, we're gonna be carrying one of those pistols, and I was like, yeah, mate, I hope you're carrying that pistol because that's your job in this duo. But no, I'm really excited because these guys have all that LAN experience already. They have all the experience of playing online as well. I'm expecting big things.
Well, we've only got one thing left to do, and that is introduce the 10 remaining duos to Dickies Arena. Y'all better make some noise!
It's time to get loud because Biko and Flixie are here. After displaying their dominance in EU Major 3, now they're ready to keep that momentum going and add a trophy to the collection.
Let's take a look at Asia's powerhouse, Zaku and Shadow. It isn't easy being on top, and consistency will be key for this duo to make their regions proud.
Bryce and Bolts are in the house. These guys are not new to the global stage, but the question now is how far can they make it together?
They are back. Malabuka and Merstash coming back together as a duo this year and taking home an FNCS championship was huge for their region.
All the way from ME, it's Cal and Haman. These guys have been at the top of their region for several seasons, so the confidence is there, but it's showtime now on the global stage.
incredible feat, and now it's showtime.
It's the Kings of South America, King and Phaser. They started the year in EU, but Brazil called them home, and now they're here at the Global Championship, ready to pop off.
You know who this is. It's Kanata and Cooper. An absolutely lethal duo. We can't see what the reigning champion can do.
Polska Buda, Cammy and Seti, your FNCS Invitational champions are in the building. With the second place last year, now it's time for redemption. Second is not an option.
But wait, let's give it up for Clix and Vino! This is what happens when you combine the best of NA and EU. This is a powerhouse team. They have one thing on their mind, and that's success. Dickies Arena, I mean, come on! This is who we'll be seeing compete. These are 50 of the best duos in the world. Are you not entertained? Let's go!
My gosh, to hear the crowd just lose it for these last 10 duos. One in particular stood out to me. Malabuka and Merstash, you guys went crazy for them. These guys, I mean, to see them come out and to see them compete on stage, I'm worried, not for them, but for everybody else.
I mean, one of the longest lasting duos. We've seen them compete together since Chapter 2, and then they did break up for Chapter 4, but they knew that they were the duo to be together.
Right.
Bringing it back together in Chapter 5, and then getting that first place in Major 1.
Yeah, it's so good for these guys. They've had a really solid year overall. First, 6th, and 4th. I feel like it's kind of gone under the radar a little bit because they are so good. I'm expecting big things from this duo. I was speaking to Mustache as well. Of course, they're landing at that restored reels era. I said, Mustache, are you a little bit concerned about being contested? He said, I feel like we're better off being contested by Alex and Worthy there at restored reels. I feel like they feel like they can finish the fight quickly. They can get those Storm Surge tags early. And then when it comes to late game, they've kind of evolved their strategy a lot compared to that Chapter 3 Malabuka Mustache that we saw. That sort of season, that sort of chapter, they were going for loads of pre-edits. They were going for loads of eliminations in the end game. It seems like they toned that down a little bit. I mean, in fact, they're actually doing half the amount of pre-edits in end game as they were all the way back in Chapter 3. So it seems like they're playing a little bit more calmly, a little bit more carefully, but of course, if they make it off spawn, they need to make the games count.
That is kind of crazy. Something else is crazy. What was it? Zeke. Invitational champions Cammy and Seti looking to make a return to this stage. I mean, if we got an invitational little title, we got a global championship title, that'd be kind of insane.
I mean, they're already regarded as the land goats.
Yep.
As you said, winning the Invitational, getting second place at the Global Championships last year. And although they may not have had the best last major, this season is looking so good for them.
Absolutely.
They love the low mobility meta. They have an incredible drop spot on thing is kind of working in their favor, Mini.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice meta for them. It's a really nice situation for them. As I said earlier, as I hinted at, my only slight concern for them is if someone decides to land on them off spawn. They haven't necessarily had the best time off spawn. They had a good Major 3. It was third in that, or Major 2, I should say, third in that Major. But in the other Majors, they haven't quite had the same success. They've only won 20% of their off spawn fights in those 2 Majors. So intrigued as to what's going to happen there. I don't know if they're going to get contested. We're not too sure yet, but please do not count these guys out, because when it comes to the big stage, when it comes to the bright lights, when it comes to in-person events and low mobility metas, these guys always have some great strats cooking. So no matter what they've done this year, throw that out the window. It's time. Their time is now.
And we've already seen them evolve over this season. We know them to be low ground kings, but over the Cash Cups, they actually won 2 victory royales from the high ground. It just shows how diverse this duo is, how prepared they are, and I'm wondering if they can do it again.
Okay, and we kind of got to look there at Seti. You can tell the nerves are starting to set in for some of these players, right? You can always say, like, yeah, I don't have nerves when I go into this, but when you have this crowd roaring, when you're under these circumstances, there's those nerves, they start to creep up. How do you guys feel like these players are doing? Some of them, obviously, they look locked in, they're ready to go. They're enjoying the crowd, but they're thinking, I've got to win.
Tournament jitters are a real thing. You'll see players that are very comfortable in their own home, playing on their own setup, and here they are in a foreign setting around a bunch of people. Nerves can definitely play a part into it, but there is so much opportunity for these duos to learn over day one, and then with that 1.5 for day two, they can really evolve and kind of get more comfortable with the setting that they're in.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see because I think around a third of our players competing today are actually making their first international LAN appearance. So it's going to be interesting to see how those guys do, how they handle the pressure. I mean, the camera was just on Cammy and Seti right there. They seem very chill. Seti, I thought, was asleep for a second there. Thankfully, he isn't. He's awake and ready to go, which is great. But it seems like they're very chill about the situation. They've done it before. They've won it. They had second at the last Global Championships. They've been around the block. They know how to handle the pressure. It's all about how they can transfer that into the game. How can they use that little bit of an advantage that they have over the rest of the lobby that maybe hasn't had the same success, that maybe hasn't had the same experience as these guys, to really elevate their game and set them apart.